we're on the topic of beer. When we met the first time, you told me a little bit about your background in terms of the brewing business. Somewhat unique from what I've heard in the past. Maybe you can just fill us in terms of how you started doing this.
Briefly, I started working for Big Rock Brewery in Calgary in about 1990, and I was there till about 1996. At which time, being a young guy, I wanted to see what the world was like, so I left and I moved out here to BC and spent about 2 years doing odd jobs, and then ended up back in the brewing industry, spending about the next 10 years working for different breweries throughout BC. Followed by my schooling, which I went to Berlin, Germany to do, and then returned back to BC, worked again for a couple of breweries, and then one thing led to another. In 2007, I ended up back in Calgary as the brewing manager, and then fast forward to last year, where I ended up back out here again to have this gig.
Enjoying it?
Yep.
What's not to like, eh?
Exactly.
But here's the thing, that was just kind of a summary of your brewing business, but I like the story of how you actually got into it in the first place.
Oh, you mean the broom?
The broom, yeah.
I don't know if there's how much truth is in this or not, but there was a period of time where I was at Big Rock, first tour of duty, and I was working in the kegging department, and it was a slow Friday, so the fellas were playing floor hockey with the dust caps for the kegs, and I had a broom, and I was sweeping the floor to make a better floor hockey location, or a better floor hockey rink, and Bern Pieper, our brewmaster, had opened up the door into the kegging department, and he looked around inside, and he pointed at me, and he fingered me over, and big German fella, he said, "Do you want to work in the fermentation hall?" And being just a young guy, I was intimidated by Bern, and I said yes, because he never said no. So I just said yes. And then he said, "Come see me Monday morning." So he left. I asked the guy beside me, "What's the fermentation hall?"
You had no idea.
No idea. That was when it actually clued in that we actually made beer at the brewery. Until then, it never really clued in. I kind of thought that it came through the pipe in the hole in the wall, and it went to the kegging, and it was just never clued in. And then, that Monday, I reported for work in the fermentation hall, and that was it. Everything sort of changed from there. I spent several years in fermentation. That was at the old brewery location, and then spent about a year and a half once we had built the new brewery in Calgary, and then I found myself over here.
Great story.
So I don't know if it was because I was the only guy with a broom doing something that day.
It looked like you were still working.
It still looked like I was still working, but I never ever did tell Bern that
I think the thing that
impressed sweeping the floor to make a better floor hockey.
The thing that really kind of intrigues me about the story is that most of the people that we talk to that are in the craft brewery business kind of did it from their own home brewing.
Yeah, home brewing going up. Yeah.
And some of them went directly from brewing in their kitchen to opening up a brewery, which is a kind of a risky thing to be doing.
Yeah.
But
it's an honor in that.
But as I say, most of them have had a background in doing some kind of brewing, whereas you had just kind of...
I've never homebrewed anything in my life. There was one summer I was convinced into making apricot wine, and I got probably 2/3 of the way through, and it turned into just a massive mess.
So that was it.
Never did it since.